Okay. All right. Hey guys. So, I just really wanted to share this and just talk about it because it's something that I've been learning so much, just like in the past maybe month, you know? So something that's been like amazing, so cool, and like, yeah, so great. So, yeah, just trying to get my thoughts together. So, I have been like volunteering at this place called the Sojourner House in Eau Claire, and it's just been so cool, like the things that I've learned and like what God has taught me, like just amazing because our culture says, in order to be happy, you always need to put yourself first. You need to be at this perfect place with yourself before you can help others, kind of thing. And that's something that I believed for a super, super long time. And, stuff that I've been learning about, like, that, like, God says is, someone who loses their life for my sake will like gain will gain their lives. And that was always a Bible verse that was so confusing to me. I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean die to myself? Does that mean I have to hate myself, kind of thing? And like what's so and I guess like what God has really been teaching me, it's not about hating yourself, it's about thinking of yourself less. Because what our culture says is like, yeah, you need to think about yourself. Like you should be on your mind all the time, kind of thing. Basically just with like what social media totally further implements that. Because there are all these websites where you're putting pictures of yourself on and trying to create this maybe false reality of how you want people to see you, which I think distances us from each other in a lot of ways because, it just almost kind of creates this false world of, hey, this is who I am, this is how I look. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So with like volunteering and stuff, it's just been amazing because I'll go and I'll feel really insecure. I'll feel really unworthy. I'll be like, this is not something that I want to do. I don't feel good. And in those moments when I feel that way, a lot of times it's because I feel like that's God's telling me, like, you need to get out of your own head. But our culture is like, no, just focus on yourself, just like, and I really think that that's what cripples us and entangles us, kind of thing. So anyways, I went, and now like I feel amazing because I'm out of my own head. I'm not making my life about myself because I could be home, I could be just like watching Netflix all day, and like I'm not trying to shame anyone who does that. Like I definitely still struggle in a lot of ways, but it's just really cool when God shows me stuff like this. It's like, oh, the purpose of our life is to give it to other people. You know, and yeah, there's just been so many times over and over and over again where I was like, I don't want to do this. I just feel insecure. I feel bad about myself. And I do it, and I feel like God opens my heart up so much. He totally changes my perception, and I feel so full. Like, those are the times when I feel the most beautiful, is when, I'm just out of my own head. And I just really think that that's what we're created to do, is to just live for each other. But like our world is so backwards. Everything that we're exposed to just further implements this idea, this normality that you need to be focusing on yourself. That further implements just like living for ourselves. But I just think that can be so empty, and like I think like that's why I think Jesus is so amazing, because he was so radical. He provides such a beautiful example of what it looks like to serve the people in front of you. He was a person who, he's a person who was like, hey, you need to love the people that you would rather not. He's a person who was like, love your enemies. And, he is the face of God. He is he is God in human form, which is amazing. So I think this video might be kind of long, so I might want to end it. But hopefully this video makes sense. I don't really know. I just really felt like I wanted to share just Yeah, my life isn't, our lives are not our own. They're not our own. And you guys, I think that's when we get so stuck. That's when I get stuck. That's when I get so stuck, you know, like it's like no wonder, our country has like the biggest rate of anxiety, depression, eating disorders, or suicide. And there's a lot of reasons for that I believe, you know. We're a very individualistic society where we're socialized to put ourselves before other people, but I think that's what cripples and binds us. And I'm just really learning that. I still struggle in many ways. I'm not being like, hey, look at, I'm so great, I volunteer. No, I'm sorry if that is what comes off, but I just think God, like, shows us so much through each other, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful when we do things that, where we get out of our own reality, because I think what happens, um, our culture socializes us to like narrow our little perception down to here, where it's like, okay, I can only see myself. This is me, me, me. Like my world is orbiting, like my world is me, and I'm orbiting around myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I just hope that this is an encouragement. Like no shame. There's no shame, like I still get stuck in my head, but it's just cool because I've been learning, like, oh, it's because I get stuck in my head, and like I live for myself, and that's when yeah, because we were not born or created to be insecure like that. No, that's the darkness in this world. And yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say. So thanks for listening. I'm sorry if this is long, but yeah, thank you. Peace out.